Hey, everybody, what's happening? Is that down now? Time for another episode of Thrifty Business because it's Thursday night. But look at this. Look at this.
This is cozy.
This is not TV technology wizardry. This is not green screen. Debbie's real. She's right here. Look at that. Hi, Debs.
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, this is a fun extra special show for a couple reasons. We got Joe back after many years to see how he's doing. We'll introduce him in a quick second. Debbie's here live in person. It's a beautiful day in Vegas.
Yes,
And we've got a fun show lined up. We're going to talk about hubcaps quite a bit, but I got great scores. Debbie sold another international. Yay! So we're going to talk about that. But first, let's get right to our first segment. And that would be Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different tiki. Good Lord. I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug each week, and I'm trying to match it up to our guests. And our guest today is the one, the only Hubcap. Joe, how the heck are you, brother?
Hi, Joe.
Hello, Jason. Hello, Debbie. How you guys been?
Good. Someone just had a birthday, didn't they?
Happy birthday.
Wow, yes.
I have to read this card too.
And she bought you a card too, so.
Some people have good looks and some people have charm and some have intelligent, and you have all these plus. You have us. Happy birthday.
Yay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we can keep this here. We just need to move it back one smidge, like right there.
Okay.
Now, Joe, how many hubcaps, just and a general guess, do you think you've sold in your life?
Oh, I hazard to even take a guess, but it would be in the, if not the tens of thousands, maybe even over 100,000.
All right, so y'all know I try and get a good tiki mug to match it to my guest, and I was going to do this one, and then my wife reminded me of this other one. So I actually have a tiki mug with hubcaps on it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Awesome.
Looking good.
Look at that. Now, this is a rare, usually when I do this segment, I kind of teach about the mugs. This is this weird example of one that did never hit and never took hold. So we talk about dual branded items in the thrifting board from time to time. This is 3 brands. This was Tiki Farm, the biggest mug manufacturer. This is Hot Wheels, and it came with a Hot Wheel. And this is Von Franco, who's a lowbrow artist who's super famous in the hot rod world. So 3 brands, and this no one ever cared. Usually these kind of cool things, you buy them and then they go up in price. This one went the other way. You can buy it new and sealed in the package with all the Hot Wheels logos and stuff for less than when it was new.
Ooh, save me one. I want to buy one.
It's a cool piece, but man, I've never seen a piece that should go good go shitty. But look at that, Joe. Hubcaps.
I like it.
And yeah, so my wife's like, no, we got one with hubcaps. I'm like, get out of here. Now, we always try and match the rum up to, where the hell did it go? Oh, it's hiding behind my iPad. The rum up to the guest. I don't think this accurately describes our guest. Big black dick.
Oh, my God.
But it actually coincides with our viewer tip this week. So you'll understand a little bit more in a little bit. So I don't think this matches up to the guest, but does match up to the viewer tip.
No. And I'm adulting today.
Yay!
And I have that same stuff in mind. And we finally bought this at Frankie's the other night. This is one we don't own yet. Frankie's Tiki Room, slot machine. Yay.
And are you joining us tonight, Joe?
Yes and no. Yes, I am drinking, but I'm drinking this.
Nice.
Oh, that's my favorite tiki mug. I got to get you a tiki mug, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Sit back, relax, enjoy the segments, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes. All right. Now let's get right into it, shall we, Debs?
Sure. But before we start,
hold on.
I present your gift to you?
Sure.
Okay. Get it going the right way. Okay. Jason loves Peeps.
Woo!
And I found pancakes and maple syrup.
Oh, nice. Huh? We've never had that flavor
so
now.
That is your special promo.
Yay, Debbie. That's what I like to see. All right, let's get right into it, shall we? It's time for our scores of the week, where Debbie and I share with you Bolos, things that you should be on the lookout for, things that you should be hunting for in the thrift store.
Yes.
You sold another one of these?
Yes, I did.
You know, we all have our list of, I always want to buy one of these. And this is on my list. This is top 10 for me, damn you.
Sadly, I probably could have got a little more for this, but it had some flaws that I fixed. But guess how much I paid for it? I beat Peggy. I paid 10 cents for that.
And mom's in the chat, even though my mom's at Kelly Clarkson right now, and she's in the chat. Go listen to Kelly.
Yeah. So yeah, always pick this book up, even if it has any flaws in it.
I can't believe you sold it again, and I still have yet to find one.
Yeah, that's like me with, I forget what I'm looking for, some things like that. But we went to estate sale and found this playing card deck, Russian playing cards with ballerina. I paid $1. They sold within 12 hours. Maybe I should have listed them higher. I don't know. But they sold for $28.99.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they really are.
Pretty cool. Hey, Cutco knife block. I got one of those. Look at. Is that this? I think it's the same one. Can you grab that real quick? I think I got the same one sitting here.
These are so good to pick up anytime.
Close.
Yours has the little hole down the middle.
For the knife sharpener.
Close.
Yeah, hey, you'll get money for that.
Sell it.
So we accepted a best offer. I have all my notes on my phone of $34.99 on this one.
Nice.
And it fit perfectly in a medium flat rate box. Shipped it out, but I have sold every one of these I've ever found. I even had one that was, you know how kitchen oil and grease gets kind of yucky, and I tried everything to clean it. I just sold it as is, and we still sold it. The big one you want to find, the big one is worth like $150.
Oh yeah.
And then I went to a estate sale. It was my first ever 5K. A friend of mine stopped at an estate sale after that, and I paid $5 for the Chanel bedspread. It took about 2 years to sell, but I got full asking price of $99 on that.
And the first thing I sold, how do you say that brand again?
Desigual.
Desigual, thank you.
Oh.
I thought it was Decidual. Stacy thinks it's Desigual. But
you added way too many letters in your pronunciation.
Yeah. Stacy found this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Stacy found this, and it's one of those things where I forgot to list it. Winter's almost over, and I listed it, and it sold within a day and a half for $84.
You did the whole title in Spanish?
No, I list on a service that lists for me on different eBay platforms, which we will talk about in the very near future.
I want to hear about
that.
that.
Yeah, so I got $82 for that. And funny enough, right after I sold that, we found the exact matching wallet that's sitting in the pile of stuff to work on.
Wow.
Keep your eyes peeled for old concert programs. My local record store had started taking them in on trade, but they weren't pricing them really high. Each of these Robert Plants was $2.99. So I put them together. They were selling okay by themselves, but they were better together. So I sold them for $40.
Nice.
And I forget who this was. So if you're watching, please feel free to raise your hand. I was teaching a class in Seattle, I think, and this was at a tiny thrift store that Stacy and I stopped in, and we found it, and it was $4. It's a racing suit for skiing. And one of the members of the class said, crap, I saw that yesterday. And the thrift store thought it was a Halloween thing because of the spider webs.
Yep.
So they had the Halloween section. The Halloween section was on sale, so it was $4. I'm like, and when I grabbed it, she goes, oh, crap, I saw that. I left it there. So I listed it. And again, this is another item I forgot. Winter's almost over. Listed it, sold it in 2 days for $100.
Nice. Someone's asking about, is it just the Cutco knife holders? Check when you're out thrifting, because in the past, I haven't found any other brands I do, but you know how things change.
Some do, but there's nothing as consistent and as good as Cutco.
Yeah, everybody knows the brand name.
Henkel does okay, but the Cutco is always boom, boom,
and
boom.
Cutco knives too. Watch for those.
And then this was, I forget, I think Stace, my wife might have found this too. This little kimono thing.
That's from a long time ago.
Yeah. So again, finally listed. Everything we finally get around to listing, it sells really quick. Imagine that.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a weird kimono. It had no row, no tie. Didn't even have the loops for a tie. It had 3/4 sleeves, but it sold quick enough, and I've already got positive feedback. So
Ooh.
I guess I listed it right, priced it right, and did the title right.
That's really nice.
Yeah, because when you get the feedback right away too, cool. All right, now it's time for the CD scores of the week. And oh geez, I forgot to go into the thrifting board today to do my live. I totally spaced. I just realized I didn't do it.
Very busy day.
Because yes, I have. Because I usually give a clue for the contest. I totally forgot. All right. So I've been teaching everybody about selling CDs, and if you haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, why not? You're leaving so much money behind. Again, My best thrifting partner, Stacy, found this at a record store in Seattle
Yay, Chase.
for like $4 or $5.
Man, all your scores are mine.
Yeah, and it is the soundtrack to the current TV show. Why it went out of print so quick, I have no idea. But sold for $38. And the nice thing is, I got another one waiting to go.
And
Yes.
you yelled at me for even scanning that because
I yelled at her for scanning it because I'm like, there ain't no current CDs worth anything. But oddly enough, it's already out of print, which seems weird. But I'm glad she looked at it.
Don't listen to him, Stacy.
No, I don't ever.
And Babaloo. Boy, I can't sing. I Love Lucy. Now, you would normally see me share $50 CD sales, $100 CD sales. I actually had a 75 today and a 50 today. Those will be next week. And you're probably thinking, Jay, or even Deb, you're probably thinking, why are you only sharing a $19 sale?
Yeah, why?
I've sold this CD no less than 27 times.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
and over the years, it's been up to 50, it's been down to 20, and it's right now it's around 20. But it's a consistent seller. Like I said, sometimes it'll be higher or not. But every single time I find this, and I usually find it for like $3, $4, $5. I get anywhere from 20 to 50 depending on the time. So
that's what you would call bread and butter.
Yeah, it's a consistent seller, and it usually never lasts too long either.
Cool. I love the
All right, for those of you who have not taken my webinar yet, head over to www.flippincds.com. It is a 2.5-hour webinar, chock full of so much information. It should be 3 webinars. Your head will explode because the content is so good and so robust. Everyone is flipping great CDs. I'm seeing the flips in the Secret Beach. I'm seeing them in the Thrifting Board. I'm seeing them in the special CD group we have for the people who took the CD webinar. But for those of you who have not taken it, every week I've been giving away one. So if you have not watched it and you're not in the Secret Beach, please feel free to answer. But please, I know people love to answer when they have the answer, but don't answer if you've seen it and or you're in the Secret Beach because you can see it. Please leave it for someone who can't. All right. You ready for tonight's giveaway, Deb?
I am. I can't wait.
Woo!
I have to keep my mouth quiet because I know the answer.
Oh, someone said they left that one behind without scanning it.
Because it was so new.
It's always going to be changing, so it doesn't. Yeah.
Someone found the Mario soundtrack today.
All right. What was this band's name right before its current name? So I'm about to show you a band, okay? And the current name is the name everyone around the world knows them as, but right before they changed it, they were called something else. And actually, Debbie gave this one to me. hadn't even thought about it, and she was quizzing me to see if I knew, and I did know. So the key right this moment is you got to know who this is, and then you got to know who they were called, what they were called before their current name. I would play the Jeopardy music, but it's copyrighted, and then I would get in trouble.
Let's see. Any answers?
There.
Oh.
No, that is not Creed. No.
Honestly, I would not know who this is just by looking.
You know, it's funny. I looked at this band's been around for a long time. I was trying to find the good picture. The early years, they're so young. Boom! Key Lime Kisses gets it. All right, for those of you who don't know, this is Pearl Jam, which everyone should know. And for some odd reason, they decided to call themselves Mookie Blaylock before they were Pearl Jam. This is Mookie Blaylock. He was an NBA star. So it was such a weird thing. So that was awesome. So do me a favor, Key Lime Kisses, either right now or after the show's over, message me on Facebook, and I will have the free download.
Go back to the band
and sent over to you. Yeah, what's up?
The Eddie Vedder protected my brother. He was at their concert because we were all from Seattle. In the middle of a concert, he got into a fight in the mosh pit, and Eddie jumped off the stage and grabbed my brother's arm and said, "Slow down. We saw the whole thing. You're okay." And they threw that guy out. So that's how this whole story came about.
You didn't hear that story?
Yeah.
So yeah, Pearl Jam was Mookie Blaylock. So there you go. Just fun little tidbits. Now, if you didn't win today, if you haven't seen it yet, head over to flippincds.com. I'm going to teach you how to conquer CDs in a record store. And you would think, hey, don't they know what they're doing? Only to a point. I know more than every single record store in the country. I've never left this record store without a pile of good stuff to flip. And when you go into a thrift store, because that's just kind of a crapshoot, I teach you how to get through the thrift store quickly, because there is about 50% or more of the stuff you can just automatically skip. So once you know what to start skipping, You only have to look at half of the shelf, and then you'll even get better. And by that point, as you do this for a little while, you only be looking at a quarter of the shelf. So you can get through it really, really quick.
And what I love about Jason's teaching is you're passionate about this. You are so passionate about CDs that it comes out and you care to teach us everything.
And cassette webinar coming soon. And it's a whole different ballgame when you do cassettes. So I'm currently working on that. All right, but not everything can be winners. Sadly, we always have some duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
Okay, this has been listed since November 2016. It seems like yesterday I listed this. How time flies. It's had 1,163 views, and I just dropped the price by $2 to see if maybe it'll move. Come on, Moose. Everybody's talking about Moose right now all over, so it needs to sell.
Come on, Moose, move.
And then this is really interesting. This we got an offer for $12, and within 10 minutes he messaged us back. He said, "Oh, cancel it. It's too hard. It's too hard for my son." 10 minutes later, somebody comes along and buys it for that same price that guy offered us. It was a completely, well, he said this other guy gave us the same offer of $12. Different guy, so we took it. I don't know what's going on, and you could see the box is a little smushed. So that sold for $12. I'm finally getting some duds. Try not to, but.
Elizabeth said, I purchased your CD webinar when you had it the first time. How do I see it again? You would have received a few different emails, Elizabeth, and it has the link right to the watch the webinar as many times as you'd like. So if you can't find your emails, just message me and let me know.
Velma used to watch Mookie play.
I saw that. All right. Now, this used to be a bolo. When I had my TV show Thrift Hunters, I actually flipped this exact same hat for a lot more. But I think at this point, it's now far enough away from Jay Leno being on the Tonight Show that no one really cares. And we're not to that point where we're waxing nostalgic, like for Carson, you know? So when someone, and I had it up for quite a while. So when someone offered me 15, I'm like, okay, bye.
Yes.
See you later. And speaking of, I usually do very well with T Fury shirts. If you don't know T Fury, it's usually a Bolo brand. It's a company that takes two pop culture things, usually two, and jams them together. So this shirt is the movie Frozen jammed together with Doctor Who. And for whatever reason, no one cared about this shirt. I had it up forever. And again, someone offered me $15. I'm happy to make it go. Bye-bye. See you later. And I won't buy this one again. All right. Well, it's time for... Where in the world did our stuff go? Each week, Debbie and I sell stuff worldwide. If you are not offering worldwide shipping, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B, potential with a P, customers. And this week, Debbie gets to participate too. Whoops.
Yes, these are they're wildlife or art news magazines from 1989 to 1995. They're even missing pages. There was one page where half of it was cut out, but it went to, I can't even say that word.
Yeah, I was saying, I want to hear you pronounce this.
Rickabuto, Canada, New Brunswick. And she paid quite a bit of money to have that because it weighed 13 pounds. So people in other parts of the world want our stuff, and they're willing to pay the price to have it shipped.
And Jeanette said she sold her first sealed long box. Yes, when you take the webinar, you learn all about sealed long boxes.
Yes.
All right. Mine was that lovely jacket I showed you earlier in my scores, but I wanted to share this one. I had a few others, but I have not shared Santiago, Chile ever before.
No.
So I figured, because I had some some outside of Paris's and some in Canada, but I'm like, we always share those. I've never had Santiago, Chile. So there we go.
That's awesome. That
winter jacket is going to Santiago, Chile.
Yes.
All right. I have a close encounter of the thrifty kind again. We kind of retire this segment unless something exciting happens or weird or funny. And it happened again. So I have a brand new assistant, and she is working out phenomenal. I hope she's with me for a long time because she picked it up right away. I don't got to pay much attention anymore. Her pictures are great. Her listings are great. I don't have to adjust her at all. It's only week 3. So she is awesome. However, the other day she sends me this picture first and says, yep, this is how my morning started. And so she didn't have AAA. I'm going to try and get to the tire store. So she did. She goes, I'm running really late. I'm like, that's cool. Shit happens. No big deal. And then she goes, yep, this is how my Monday's going. So here's a picture of the cop in her side mirror. And the reason this is a thrifty encounter is because the cop said, where are you going? And she said, to work. And he goes, where do you work? And that day she was taking pictures. And she had that second of a thought where she's like, I work in this guy's bathroom taking pictures. And so she says to the cop, do you know the TV show Thrift Hunters? I work for that guy.
Good for her.
He didn't know, but he let her go. So the power of thrift.
That's right. It's who you know.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time for our thrifty tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you when you're out and about thrifting and sourcing.
I've been really bad lately about logging in our inventory. So when we did our taxes, we were kind of pulling our hair out. So I told my husband, oh, let's post a picture in our trunk of the items that we sold with the receipt. So I did a close-up of the receipt. So then when I'm ready, if I don't do it soon enough, I can match it up really quickly. What did I buy and how much did I pay for it? It's right there.
I like it. That's handy dandy.
Yeah.
That's a good one. How much is that Garmin going to go for?
We have it listed for $55.
All right, cool.
The little blue thing it's a cover for my husband. He has my 5S iPhone. We can't find a cover to fit in that. It smells like blueberry.
I say, is it Jelly Belly? Is that a Jelly Belly iPhone?
It is.
And how old's your husband?
He's 61.
61. He's rolling around with a Jelly Belly blueberry scented like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah. We live 10 minutes from the Jelly Belly factory. So I wasn't surprised to find that. And I have 2 CDs there listed. See those?
Yeah, I see it. That's awesome. All right, here's my sourcing tip. This is a Doctor Who, again, back to the Doctor Who. This is a Doctor Who adult robe that when you put it on, you look like the TARDIS. If you've never seen Doctor Who, you know what the hell the TARDIS is, but it's basically a phone booth that's a time-traveling machine.
Oh.
And the reason we took a picture of it with a phone, that phone says 5:49 p.m. And so my tip today is, if your thrift store is having a big sale day, like Savers was, 50% off everything on Monday, and you can't go till later in the day, go. This was still sitting there at 5:49 p.m. for $3.
Wow.
No one checked the men's robe section the entire day because anyone who has a thought about flipping anything would have picked this up for $3. So definitely don't let it sway you away from going to the thrift store if it's later in the day. There's always good stuff. And if you're hanging out watching Thrifty Business, if you're in the thrifting board of the Secret Beach, you know a lot more than the average person. So,
and I want to add, I went to an estate sale at noon and bought $35 flatware set and ended up selling all for over $400. So even noon at an estate sale, you can pick up good stuff.
Cool. Now it's time for You've got to be shipping me little tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
I'm always surprised at what I put up. I don't remember what it was. Oh, okay. In the fabulous thrifting board group, which we're almost, have we hit 54,000 members yet? Haven't checked. Somebody was talking about they accepted an offer and they didn't realize the buyer had added in free shipping. So this is just a picture that the messenger might say, hey, I want this shipped in a box. And I want free shipping, and you accept it, not realizing what you did. And then you'll see, I am agreeing to the buyer's price and any additional terms that they have specified. So you might be asked to ship an item for free that you weren't planning on it. So don't just glance at the price and decide to accept an offer. Make sure you read the terms because they can add things in there.
Yeah, and we've had a discussion in the thrifting board this last week too. $5.
Are we at 54,000 yet?
Close. All right. So we have a good friend, and one day I'm watching, I'm just looking at posts on Facebook, and I see that she has made socks with her face on it for her kids. And I'm like, oh my God, I want those. So she sent me a pair. And then as an added bonus, she sent a pair to Stacy of our dog Atocha. So these are custom socks. And our friend's going to be traveling with us for a few days coming up in the fall. And she goes, all right, I want to get back to eBay. She's always wanted to do it hardcore. She's done it a little bit. And what I want to do is start selling right now and just put all that money away and forget about it because she doesn't like her husband's got this great job. So it's not money she needs, but she's got stuff to get rid of.
Smart.
And then that'll be her money for the trip. And so the first thing I said, well, guess what, Dawn, you made my what not to do on the shipping segment this week. And I love her dearly, but She said she was off to the UPS store to mail 7 ounces of socks. Now, I just thought she missed a letter and never questioned it. And then when she sent me the picture of the receipt for the UPS store, I go, holy shit, how much did you pay to ship 7 ounces of socks? She was like, 10 something.
Oh my God.
I'm like, no, my dear, because I looked it up. It's $3.20 first class. So make sure that you realize you have options. You have options within the USPS. You have FedEx options. You have UPS options. Don't just blindly do something. And anytime you go up to a counter and pay there, you're always going to pay a lot more. Okay. So never, ever, ever, I don't care if you're the newest seller, we will help you on the thrifting board. Never pay retail at the counter because A, you've wasted time waiting in line, and B, is the most expensive place that you're going to pay for shipping. Okay.
Yep.
So don't do that.
Well, good. She learned that now before she starts her eBay.
Yes, I said that. I said, look, she goes, you'll be my Obi-Wan. I said, yes. The first lesson is no more UPS and 7-ounce socks. All right. And now it's time for our eBay tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you when you're selling online. Sabrina Sabrina wants to know the link for the socks. I've never seen it. But message me on Facebook, Sabrina. I'll get it from Dawn. It's pretty cool how you can make custom socks with your head on it.
Okay. Talk about duds. We did a boo-boo. We had some Tiki mugs that we sold out of, and then we found one more, and I said, oh, let's just go ahead and sell it. Well, we relisted with our listing that was of a quantity of 6, and we didn't realize it. Here we are in Las Vegas. We get a cha-ching that we sold 2 Tiki mugs. I'm like, oh my gosh, we only have 1. We forgot to go in and change the quantity. Thankfully, we have our own personal Tiki mug of that. So we will be giving up our Tiki mug to offer the best customer service to protect our account. And they're going to get ours. So they will get there too. And immediately I went into eBay and I ended that listing because I don't have 4 more that my quantity showed I had. So always, always check your quantities when you reuse or relist an item.
Yep. And trust me, we have all been there. We've all done that. It happens.
I'm sad.
Oh, wait, where's my tip? Okay. All right. Look, I can't imagine anyone watching right now is not on the thrifting board, but if you're not, come on over. It's my free thrifting group. We have 54,000 members. We help. We don't allow negativity. It's all about positivity. If you got a problem, we love helping with problems. We don't allow just ranting and raving. The eBay seller update email came out 1 month ago. 1 month ago telling us we're changing this, we're changing this, we're changing this, like it does every spring. And I am shocked. I am floored. I am flabbergasted by the number of eBay sellers who just ignore the email that says seller update. Now, whether you're selling 2 things a week or $50,000 a month, everyone at every level needs to know what the changes are because it's going to affect you. Sometimes positively, sometimes negatively. If it's negatively, you have to learn how to roll with it because that's the new norm. So I was just sharing a picture of the email we got on February 26th. And what's the date today? March 21st. So we're almost at a month. I'm in a ton of other Facebook, eBay thrifting groups just to keep an eye on what's happening. And for the last 2 weeks, post after post after post said, hey, where's the 30-day option? Why is it only good till cancel? And then there's long discussions and no one reads the email. Holy crap.
Wow.
Read your emails. Now, I did a whole show on it. We talked about in the group, if you're in a group that doesn't teach you and talk to you about the changes of the platform it specializes in, whether it be eBay or Etsy or whatever, it's probably not a quality group.
Yeah.
So I am going to pat myself on the back for that one
Oh,
because we've discussed it at length and we help everyone understand the changes, why they're made, and whether you hate them or not, you got to deal with them. So pay attention. Pay attention to your emails. It's very important.
Well, this is your business too. You can lose a
Yes,
lot of
it
money
is.
and not even understand why.
And in one group, the same guy posted the same question 2 days apart. Someone's like, didn't you ask us this 2 days ago? And then they just entertain it. It's so weird.
Have you noticed how many people lately in the group are saying how much they're learning and they're so glad to be in the thrifting board?
Yeah. And look, people, before we get to that, people are freaking out. And we've already talked about this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to work it out. People think they're going to pay more. Most of us have been using good till cancel forever. We're not paying more. But I think if I can show it to you in writing, like if we list the thing on this day and go down the calendar, I think you'll understand it better for those of you who are doing the 30 days. Us who are doing good will cancel, and you who used to do 30 days, we're not paying any differently. We're not. But some of you think you are. But I think if I show it to you, you'll understand better. Okay. So that'll be either on Thrifty Business or Selling Past Your Expiration Date coming up in the very near future. Because I've been thinking about it quite a bit. I think visuals will help.
Yes.
Okay. So our guest next week is
and Zara Nandia. We met at our meetup group. We meet in eBay at San Jose. And she started selling on eBay in 1998 because she likes to jump into what's happening and new. And the first thing she listed and sold was a Bee Gees sheet music sheet for $3. She's a huge Barbra Streisand fan. But before eBay, she was a tennis teaching professional and ranked tennis player. She has won 3 national titles and's been ranked #1 in the USA in women's doubles. So
wow.
It's really awesome to have her on. And she is now selling on eBay, you know, all those years. She sells on consignment. So she's going to be really fun. You're going to be interested to see some of the things that she sells. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to tune in and see.
And Stacy was a tennis player. So we're going to have her come in and throw some tennis questions at her.
Yay.
So start thinking about it. You got a week to see if you can stump the expert.
Yes.
Okay, I accidentally skipped over R, and I got a new thing for it. Nah, I didn't like that.
Sneeze.
Our viewer tip of the week, and I'm going to read this one this week because it's funny. Okay, here's why we're drinking Big Black Dick tonight. Ta-da.
Yeah.
So, Pink Cookie Lady on the YouTube channel said, "Hi, Jason. Saw your show a while ago when you were drinking Big Black Dick rum. I happened to be at a garage sale a month later and saw the same empty bottle. I picked it up for 25 cents. My husband never thought an empty bottle would sell. About 2 weeks later, the empty bottle sold for $20. Thank you. Great video. Very inspirational. So thank you, Pink Cookie Lady. And in honor of you, and thank you for commenting on my channel, we're drinking Big Black Dick again.
It's pretty good too. I don't.
Yes, it's very smooth, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay, those of you in Portland, coming up, I got classes April 5th and 6th. So one day, the 5th, is the classroom class where I teach you everything A to Z, what to look for, how to list it, how to take pictures, how to shoot videos, how to use social media, all kinds of good stuff. And then on April 6th, we'll be in the thrift store, live in the thrift store, going section by section, teaching you what to buy and what not to buy, because some people get like, "Ooh, it's pretty, I should buy that," but you probably shouldn't. So there'll be a link right down below in the description of the show. Just click on that and it'll take you to all the details, or you can just message me on Facebook and I will get you in the right direction. That's coming up very quick. Also coming up, those of you coming to eBay Open, a lot of you asked, what is the schedule for fun and parties so we can book our travel? eBay Open is on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So for those of you coming to town really early, Sunday night, July 21st, we kick off an Ass Juice party at the Double Down Saloon. Ass Juice, for those of you who have not had it, is way tastier than it sounds. We just had some this afternoon.
Yes, we did.
And then Monday, those of you in the Secret Beach, it'll be the Secret Beach Bash number 3. Tuesday, party for everybody at Frankie's Tiki Room here in Vegas. Wear your best Hawaiian short or muumuu. Last year, myself and 2 of my buddies, male buddies, we wore muumuus. And then Friday, we have the thrift class on steroids. And that's a class I take around a thrift store where you get thrift store time, classroom time, and bins time. And I have 10 instructors. Here's one of them. My mom's one of them. So you get 10 instructors in one class. That's why we call it the thrift class on steroids. And I don't have the signups just yet, but I will have the signups for that. So if you are traveling and you want to go to any of these parties, if you need any more details, feel free to reach out. I'm always easily accessible. And those of you in the Secret Beach, the deadline for your down payment is coming up in a week and a half. The 2019 cruise, we are off to the Mexican Riviera. So make sure you get your deposit in. Look, the deposit is only $250. Fully refundable up until the point where the whole thing's due. So even if you're on the fence, just get your deposit in, hold your spot, and then you got months to figure out the rest of it. So we're gonna have a great time. Again, here's one of the instructors on the boat. Yay. Ta-da! And maybe we'll have Stacy teach someone because she's getting really good at this thrifting stuff. So how to become a thrifting partner when you don't like thrifting. There's the class. There it is.
Yeah.
There it
Talk
is.
For hours about that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add, if let's say you want to come to Vegas, go to the parties, but maybe you can't afford to attend eBay Open, or it's sold out, because it will sell out. Still come to Vegas, because you can participate in the nighttime parties. You could take the thrifting class if you wanted to. So
because we have a couple friends who are not going to eBay Open. They're like, okay, I want to drink ass juice. I want to go to Frankie's. I'm in the Secret Beach. So yeah, they are just coming for the festivities. So, you know, you could just come for the festivities too. Just because you're not going doesn't mean you can't come to Frankie's.
And they will usually they record the sessions, and they'll send a link later on for us to watch the sessions. So you could still get part of eBay Open even if you're not here.
Yes, the cruise deadline, Linda, is March 26th. Okay, real quick before we get Joe in here, I found this shirt. I shared it in the thrifting board the other day. I found it thrifting. It's a great shirt. I was going to list it. About 20 of you said you wanted to buy it, so I had an idea. So today, what's it called today? The Big Give Day? What's that called?
Nevada's Big Give. Yeah.
Today is called Nevada's Big Give, where those of us who live in Nevada, we are trying to help raise money for things that matter to us. Nonprofits. And so we raise money for the pug rescue in town. It's a labor of love to people who run it. Pugs sometimes get a shit deal in life where they end up in the wrong families who don't treat them well. And so the Southern Nevada Pug Rescue goes and rescues them. And so they have a goal today. I don't know if they're going to make their goal or not. Whether they do or not, what I thought is I'm going to put this shirt that everyone wants up for auction in the thrifting board. And so we'll let it run for 24 hours, and the highest bid gets it. And I will send all that money to the pug rescue. Even though it'll be after the day, they'll still very much welcome it. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's the best shirt ever. It's the best shirt ever. So
very, very patriotic.
Yes, very patriotic, and it's a size medium. That's the only bummer. But there was a ton of you who wanted it the day I found it. So I decided, something that everyone wants, we're going to use the money for good. Okay. So we're going to say, fuck it. We'll use it for good. All right.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So tomorrow it'll be in the group, and we'll just throw your bids up there. I'll have someone start it. And like I said, 24 hours later, Saturday morning, the winner, whoever's highest bid, and it's going to go towards rescuing pugs from crabby situations. All right.
Okay. We have an update. The cruise deadline is the 26th, which is in 5 days. Today's the 21st.
Oh, see, I'm so behind. Okay, 5 days. Thank you. Thank you.
Would be better if you can get it in
the
4.
25th would even be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't.
And I'm donating $30 to your pug.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
you rock.
Because I love Atocha. He's a pug.
All right, now it's time for. Get the graphic ready. There it is. Hey, Hubcap Joe DeMarco, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Jason and Debbie, what's going on?
Hi, Joe.
We are enjoying the lovely weather in Vegas. How's the weather back east?
Do you have to ask? It's cloudy and rainy and cold, just like every other day out here.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the reason I left Cleveland. When my wife got the job offer to go to Long Beach, California, I'm like, yes! I got so tired of winter. We were just in Denver a couple of weeks ago, and there was a blizzard. And I was driving the rental car around, and there was a point where I had to kick off the snow in the wheel wells because it was all built up. And I had this rush of memories like, man, I haven't kicked off snow in a wheel well in 100 years. Okay. And all the memories sucked. I'm like, yeah, this sucks, man. I don't want to live in the snow ever again. So,
yeah.
So Joe, you're on the East Coast because someone's asking Heather's asking where you're at. Joe's on the East Coast, and the weather's going to change soon. Spring will be here.
Well, the calendar says it's coming, but it hasn't gotten here yet. We're going to have rain right through Saturday.
All right. So Joe has made a living out of selling hubcaps.
Yes.
And that's it, right? You don't sell much of anything else, do you?
Well, I will sell basically anything I can get my hands on. Like, for instance, you taught me about selling the cassette tapes, because people on farms only have those old-fashioned pickup trucks that only have cassette players.
Oh, yeah.
So I have sold some cassette tapes, but yeah, I specialize in hubcaps.
What Blackberry Thistle Tea said their favorite video on your channel is the semi-truck stuck.
Yes. I have a webcam right in my car, a webcam, and it's a digital GoPro, and I film things that happen on the streets of New York City, because I'm also a member of the Historical Society. And I come across these 18-wheelers occasionally that illegally get onto the parkways, which they're not allowed in New York, because the overpasses are really low. And these 18-wheelers, they just slam right into them and get stuck.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty common.
So were you behind it or next to it?
Neither. I was like 5 minutes behind it, not actually driving.
Gotcha.
I got onto the scene and I saw a great photo op and video op, and people really love those videos.
Oh yeah. Especially those moron truck drivers who try and go over the underpasses that say, don't come here. And they just slam into them and can't open their truck.
Well, because they're following a GPS on their phone that's made for a car, not for a truck.
Oh no.
Because they show it to me. They say, look,
I never thought about that.
that's what they're doing.
Now, is there like an app or a router for specifically for trucks?
Sure there is.
I gotta imagine there is.
Yes.
But yeah, if they're using regular old Google Maps, that doesn't know your vehicle's 20 feet tall.
Right. And GPS for trucks costs more, and a lot of them don't go for it.
I would think their insurance companies would require it. We're not going to pay for this truck if you don't have that GPS for trucks.
Well, sometimes they're driving for a big company. I'm not going to name a certain trucking company here on the air, but there's a certain one which has an acronym for Sure Wish I Finished Training. And that particular company seems to have a bad reputation for hitting low bridges in the New York City and other areas.
So stay away from them.
Now, when they hit them, do their hubcaps fly off?
They don't have to worry about hubcaps when they hit that bridge.
Do trucks have hubcaps?
No, I was kidding. I was kidding. Debbie was thinking hard. She's like, do trucks have hubcaps?
Well, first I was going to say Joe's the ambulance driver. He follows them around to get their hubcaps. But they don't have them.
So, all right. So, even though you've been on the show, for those who have never seen it before, let's back up just a smidge. When's the first time you sold a hubcap?
Well, I think to answer that question, I got to tell you how I got started.
Please
All right.
do.
Yeah.
I was a young boy, about 5 years old, in the Bronx, New York, and I was walking with my aunt to the supermarket, which was located under the L on Westchester Avenue. And I hear this rattle trap of a Pontiac driving by us. And I looked at it, and as he went by us, the left front hubcap rolled right off, rolled across the road up onto the sidewalk where we were walking.
Oh.
So the guy stops and he backs up, and I looked at his car, and he was already missing 2 on the passenger side, and here's number 3, and he just gave up and he drove away.
Wow.
So I said to my aunt, I'm taking that back to the apartment. And I did. And it was the first hubcap I collected at age 5.
Wow. Hubcap.
And then when did you sell that hubcap? That's the real question.
Well, that particular hubcap was never sold.
Do you have it?
Do you have it still?
No. I wish I did. But that's not around anymore. But I started out as a little kid, about 10 or 11. I would sell them to a local junkyard for like 50 cents or $1 a piece. Because in the 1970s, 50 cents and $1 bought something.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I started selling them to local neighbors or people I knew. Then I started working in the junkyard and actually selling them right there. And 25 years ago, I opened my current brick and mortar store.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't realize you had the store that long too.
Yeah.
He knows hubcaps.
And then so how quickly did you discover eBay? Was it right at the beginning?
Well, I opened my store in 94, and I heard about eBay the end of 98. One of my friends, who was also a hubcap guy, was pushing me to sell on eBay. And I was fighting him because back then I had so many walk-in customers, I didn't need any more income.
Wow.
All right? That's how good it was. But he showed me that another seller on eBay had a lot of Corolla hubcaps that I really needed. So I bought a huge quantity of hubcaps from this particular seller in January of 99. And that's why I signed up on eBay, was so I could buy from this one seller. And from there, I started listing them maybe 8 or 10 listings a week. Because as I said, I had plenty of walk-in customers. But everything changed for me on the date September 11th, 2001, when the 2 towers were hit by those planes. because that's so close to where I work that everybody in my area immediately changed their mindset. People around here now live more for the moment, and they enjoy life, and they want to spend money on enjoyment. And quite frankly, they neglect their car. There's plenty of cars riding around here with broken taillights, mirrors hanging off, donut spare tires, a crack in the windshield, hubcaps missing. So my local customer base started to dwindle at that point. And that's when I started going on to eBay more and more. So fast forward to 2019, a good chunk of my business is now online as opposed to walk-in. And I do very well on eBay.
Nice. Do you think you'll keep your brick and mortar?
You know something? I don't have to.
Okay.
I could sell it tomorrow if I wanted. And I could just live off my eBay income.
Nice.
But, I've had it for 25 years. I enjoy it. Unless maybe somebody like Jason comes along someday who has deep pockets and is willing to spend top dollar, I'll sell it in a second.
Now, in the hubcap business, let's talk about the brick and mortar. You can't have too many repeat customers, though, could you?
Not really. I mean,
because it's not a business where you're like, oh, here's Tom again. You just, you get your one hubcap and you move on with life.
If that does happen, the people get pissed off because they lose one, they'll buy it, no problem. But if they lose one in 3 or 4 months, they get pissed off and they say, I lost another hubcap. Like it's my fault that they hit the potholes in freaking Newark. Say, you're lucky I'm here. I'm saving you so much money compared to the dealer.
Yeah. I've been driving since 1975. I have never had a hubcap fall off my car.
Really?
No.
I don't, not you say that when I had cars with hubcaps, I don't remember ever losing one. I don't. Because I probably wouldn't have done anything about it, but it would have annoyed the hell out of me. But I don't remember ever losing one.
I've lost quite a few because I drive in New York. And even as a kid, I once hit a pothole and 2 came off shooting off one side.
My God.
2 at one time.
I don't hit potholes. I hit big pieces of fence that fell off of a truck and ran over. The oh my gosh.
I've been friends with Joe for so long that when I'm anywhere and there's just a hubcap laying around, I immediately send him a picture. I'm like, is this good or not? Because I'm like, should I pick it up? And then one time there's a store here in Vegas, and I should have had this picture prepped. There's a store here called Hubcap Annie. And I said, oh, Joe, I've got a date for you. It's like the only 2 in the world. It's like an app for hubcap sellers. There's only 2 people on it, Joe and Annie.
I've had Joe in my car when he comes out to the West Coast, and we'll be driving down. And I'll Joe, what hubcap is that? And he'll tell me, and I'm thinking, yeah, right. I bet he just made that up, but he knows hubcaps.
Kathy says in the chat, never say never is bad luck. Well, I don't own cars anymore with hubcaps, so I can pretty much say never, because if my hubcap fell off now, it'd be my whole wheel. So. All right, Joe. So this winter sucked for everybody, everywhere, everyone. And you get the majority of your hubcaps. You go to the junkyard and pick them.
Correct.
So with this awful winter, how tough was it getting in the junkyard, picking and finding stuff?
Well, I schedule my trips to the junkyard around the winter.
Okay.
Like, for instance, if January 3rd is a nice sunny day, I will go on January 3rd. And I'll wait. Sometimes I wait 3-4 weeks before I go back to the junkyard.
Wow.
I have to.
Yeah. So the weatherman is your friend.
Well, ideally he is, but he's usually wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If he says it's going to rain, he's right. If he says it's going to be sunny, it's wrong.
Bummer.
We should have a talk with Al Roker then. All right. But then at the other end of that, being such a rough winter, are you having more customers? Are more people losing their hubcaps in this shitty ass winter?
I don't know if you can see this picture. Can you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's my rim on my Chevy.
Bummer.
Is that a pothole?
Last week I got off Route 80. I hit a pothole. Boom! Bent the rim instantly like that. I straightened it back with a heavy hammer that I have. Because steel rims you can straighten, but the one, Jason, you have on your vehicle, you can't straighten.
Yeah, I'd be a mess if I did that.
If you hit that, you're going to crack it.
Yep.
That's aluminum.
Yep.
What? Yeah, that's everything we don't have here. Potholes.
Oh, we have plenty to go around.
BizHack says Joe was the only seller that had a center cap for my Mustang GT. Nice.
Yes, I remember Biz Hacks. He's an eBay seller too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you had the one thing he needed. All right.
Exactly.
So on an average, I don't know, day or week or month, how many hubcaps are you shipping?
My eBay sales the last 4 weeks, oddly enough, have been way up.
Ooh.
A lot of people have been complaining. You know, a lot of people have been complaining, like Jason said, in the Facebook groups about the new seller rollout and how it's no good. I have over 1,300 items listed, and every one is good till canceled.
Smart.
That it makes it so much easier, less maintenance. I would let the things roll over anyway because it gives more people the chance to see the items. All right. I think this seller update was absolutely a no-brainer for me. No complaints. I wish everyone would be that easy.
And when you pin things on Pinterest too, your links stay alive. You know, if you keep it in,
Yeah.
you repin it, it's like that item's no longer available. So
Right.
that's how it works.
So
And
how many do you ship out in a normal week? And are you shipping out 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s?
Yeah, I sell singles, I sell doubles, I sell sets. As I said, this week's been better than usual. I've been averaging anywhere from 5 to 12 a day. And I am doing well with the global shipping program.
Nice.
You had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I must have sold at least 4 or 5 items this week to the global shipping program. And I'm not talking cheap items. I'm going to show you. I just happen to have one right here.
Nice.
All right. This is a wire spoke hubcap. The kind like they had in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. And these things are heavy. And I sold a set the other day to a customer in Australia. And he paid $139 just for the shipping.
Wow.
Because overseas, there's a big demand for vintage American car parts. A big demand. They don't want new stuff. They don't want foreign or Volkswagen or Toyota. They want that vintage domestic car part.
Nice.
I got to imagine when the doors are fully open to and from Cuba,
Yeah.
it's going to be crazy for you.
I was just thinking that too.
Because for those you don't know, Cuba's cars pretty much ended in the 50s, and they keep them and they maintain them. And man, once it's going to be, we're going to have just open trade between the two countries, which will happen in the near future. Man, they're like, Joe, you're our savior. We need all these hubcaps.
But then on the flip
That's
side,
very true.
selling parts to us. Are the Americans going to be going,
You know,
oh, finally?
they've been keeping their cars together through other sources, but also with just like a lot of spit and duct tape. But once they can easily buy from the United States, because it's mainly our cars they have.
Yep.
And so people like Joe and other vintage part sellers, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So funny.
It sure will.
Chicago has millions of potholes and potheads.
Yeah.
Ecom.
Who said was it Kentucky? Wherever you enter? Louisiana. There's a pothole to state line no matter where you enter.
It's sad.
Sounds like a good place for me.
Yeah.
So is there a place someone said, is there a certain section of the country you send more to than others? I mean, I'm just guessing populous places, or is there a place where a lot of people are rolling cars with hubcaps more than others?
The places where people are really serious about their car: California,
Mm-hmm.
Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
Texas, and Florida.
All the old people, they're still driving their 72 caddies.
Not that. It's that most of those states have a lot of sunny days and no rock salt. The rock salt eats the cars away up here. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I lived in Cleveland for 30 years. I don't miss that rock salt one bit. Like, ugh. And besides your cars, it just messes up everything. I mean, you need it, but ugh. Did you ever live in an area where it had it constantly?
Washington State, a little bit.
Yeah, but not like the East Coast or
mountains.
coming up. Like I had the lake effect. Oh man, it was horrible.
Lake Tahoe, driving up to Lake Tahoe, we can get it that way. So is going into selling hubcaps for someone like me a viable idea? I mean, there must be a lot to it, I'm sure.
I would think not.
Okay.
Because You know what it is? It's tough. It really is. You have to go through the junkyards. Well, first of all, most of the junkyards don't allow civilians in them.
Oh.
You can't because of insurance regulations. It's very easy to get hurt. So you have to strike up a relationship with somebody who owns a junkyard. And it has to be the kind of junkyard that deals with scrap. See, the places I deal with love me because they deal in scrap and they can't scrap the plastic hubcaps.
Oh.
It works for them. And they don't sell them. So anything I'm paying them is a plus.
Nice.
And they're happy to get it.
So you're not actually going in and pulling them off the cars. They're all stacked there for you?
Well, they're supposed to stack them for me.
In theory.
Sometimes they don't, or there's some on the cars and the stacks, so I have to climb up and take off what I want.
Oh yeah, I'm out. We have pick and pull here, so I think I've been into those before.
We don't have in this state, in New Jersey, because of insurance regulations. I can't hear you.
Me. Duh. I'm talking to chat and I muted myself. You turned into a crazy robot for a second. You were like a crazy robot. Okay. You were like death to the humans robot. There we go. Hey, Nellie's got a great question. Do you ever sell to TV or movie props?
Yes. I've sold to a TV show called Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
They needed props for a bar. So I sold them hubcaps for that. And I've sold to other TV shows and movies. I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
You ever sell to Jay Leno?
No.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Well, I'd love to.
And then Sabrina says, and I don't know the difference, do you go to pick your parts at part yards or service yards? What's the difference?
I'm not familiar with that terminology. I'm
not either. I'm like, and I'm not really a car dude, so I'd be worse to ask, but. All right, so we've talked about them. Let's see what you've been selling. So let's pop over to your solds. And the first thing is not even a hubcap. It is a Peterbilt emblem.
Oh,
yes.
Belt buckle.
That's interesting because I found that on the road, believe it or not, where a semi must have crashed and knocked it off.
Oh.
So I took it.
Yeah, free inventory to $15. How do you beat that?
I know, right?
All right, so and this isn't this is not the full hubcap, right? This Volvo, this is like the centerpiece, right?
Right. That just clamps in the middle of a steel wheel. And the good part about those was I bought them in a lot, like in a group with other stuff. I got them really cheap. And 2 of the 4 went through the global shipping program overseas.
Nice. Wow, 4 sold at $50.
They're in demand.
Now these Toyota Sienna, are they plastic?
They're plastic.
Oh.
The interesting thing about those is those were originally made in the year 2000. And back then, a Toyota dealer called me and he said, Joe, I have a surplus of Toyota hubcaps of this style. Would you be interested in buying them? I'll give you a good deal, but you have to buy a lot. And I think, don't quote me, I think it was 100 sets.
Ooh.
400 pieces. I bought them all. And here it's 2019. I still have some that I'm selling, and I'm making a profit on every one.
That's awesome.
Love it. And then the last one here is, oh boy, this was a shiny day when you took this picture. Holy.
I love the chrome.
This was not a winter picture. That's for damn sure. Chevy Caprice. Woo.
That was a rare sunny day. And you know something? Anytime we get a sunny day, or even like a day with some clouds and a peak of sun, I actually time the break in the clouds. And when that break comes, I run outside and photograph.
Right.
But the interesting thing about those is that there's a lot of people who buy these ex-police cars, like Chevy Caprice and Crown Victoria, and they fix them up to look like it is still a police car. They call them buffs.
Buffs. Oh.
Right. And they need
brothers.
They need the exactly. They need the hubcaps to complete the look of the car. That's why the police car parts, the Ford Crown Vic and the Chevy Caprice sell very well.
Nice.
That's awesome. Now, like every seller, Joe's got some duds too.
Yes.
Hyundai Excel.
The name Hyundai, and I mean, no disrespect to anybody out there who's driving one, but I could not give away a Hyundai Hubcap.
Yeah, Hyundai, not so good.
No.
And then Vogue. What is this?
Ooh, those are
Vogue?
cool.
Is that a car?
Vogue, it's an aftermarket company.
Oh, okay.
And what they would do is, it used to be popular around here. People would buy these brand new Cadillacs.
It looks like Cadillac.
Beautiful cars with beautiful wheels. And the Cadillac dealer would remove the nice wheels and put these cheapy aftermarket ones on. And the person would think they were getting something special because it had gold on it. But
Ooh.
the quality is nowhere near the factory caddy rim.
Wow.
And how many of those do you have laying around?
Thankfully, that's the only set.
Oh, okay. A 417.
I bought that set at the junkyard on speculation that maybe I could sell them to somebody with that rim, but I haven't met the guy yet.
Well, maybe
All right. If anyone's watching this and you really need these, Joe's ready to wheel and deal. Get rid of them.
Hey, those could be some kind of alternative art. You could use those, hang them on your trees outside or something.
Yeah, Debbie's gonna hang your shitty hubcap. That and the Hyundai is gonna hang on a tree.
Use it for target practice.
All right. So what's next for Hubcap Joe? What? So tell us. Tell everyone about your channel because you do a bunch of videos and stuff.
Yes, I do a YouTube channel called Crazy NY Driver. CrazyNYDriver. I do a eBay video every single Friday night at 7 p.m. and I discuss the trials and tribulations of selling on eBay. So check me out.
And obviously, we tend not to have crappy sellers on our on the show here. And since Joe's a repeat, he's the best of the best because Debbie's like, we should have Joe on. It's been a long time. I'm like, yeah, let's see how he's doing. And obviously he's doing good. He's like, yeah, I'm just trucking along, doing my thing, just trying to avoid the shitty weather.
Exactly.
Joe's fun. One year we walked across the Golden Gate Bridge together. We almost got in a car accident together. We almost ran out of gas the same trip. That was when eBay had their We Are 20.
So you guys are in some shenanigans going on there.
We have fun.
Did you try and sell the Golden Gate Bridge to somebody?
No.
Okay.
We walked
Oh, that's a
over.
Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
no.
silly me.
The Golden Gate Bridge that they would tax the heck out of us. We can't do that. So you're coming to eBay Open?
Definitely. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. Well, let me know when you're coming in so make sure you get to things like the Ass Juice party.
Oh, yeah. No, he's coming in on Monday.
Okay. Well, they'll be at the Tiki party then.
Yeah.
All right.
What about Hoover Dam?
It's a good thing to see once. Like when we lived in Hollywood, everyone that came to visit wanted to see the footprints and the Walk of Fame. Okay, great. We would drag them up there. So when friends want to go to the Hoover Dam, we'll take them, but we don't take the tour. The tour is good to see once, and that's it.
We'll see if we can do that for you, Joe, because we'll have our car here.
I've been in Vegas. This will be my 5th year in a row, and I've never gotten off the main strip.
Okay, well, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Never, except to your house, Jason.
All right. Well, hey, that's the best thing off the main strip. All right. So you're coming in on Monday. What time are you getting in?
Depends. You may remember last year I was on the plane ride from hell.
Yes.
A 6-hour flight turned into a 12-hour flight that was diverted to Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't get
Who
back
wants
to
to
New
go
York.
there? Screw that.
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. So if you get in town early enough, we'll definitely have you come to the Secret Beach Bash for sure.
And
Okay.
you're going home on Friday. Is that correct?
Friday.
Okay, thank you. We had a big discussion last year that he thought the Brooklyn party would be on Wednesday night, and I had to convince him, no, Joe, you cannot go home till Friday. Listen to me, please.
Yeah.
Right. I listened to
Yeah.
She's a smart girl. All right. So if you have ever wanted to sell a hubcap or two, there's the impetus to start. Joe's always hanging around, and like I said, check out his YouTube channel. He loves to help people as we do. So he's a great guy. So make sure to check out his channel. Check out Hubcap Joe on eBay. Just see what he's selling. the best way to learn about anything is to go to the people who sell it the most, like come see me with CDs and Tiki mugs and Debbie with books, and pay attention to what they're selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we didn't care, we wouldn't. I mean, if we cared, we wouldn't share. So we care. We share.
We do. We want to help people. We love
And
to help
that's it.
people.
All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go drink. All right, cool. All right,
Yeah.
Joe, thank you very much, brother. Stay warm. Enjoy the hubcap pickings, and
Yes.
we will see you in 3 months, 4 months.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for coming on. You'll be our every 3-year guest.
Yeah. Joe's like the locust, is every 3 years. And yeah, thank you for reminding me, Stephanie, in the chat. Give us a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed the show. If you've never subscribed, subscribe down below. And when you subscribe to any channel on YouTube, there's a bell. Click that bell, and that lets you know. YouTube will let you know when we're going live. Because sometimes we have the structured show like this show on Thursday, and sometimes I'll just pop in and do some stuff. I'm doing some Tiki mug unboxings. So there's all kinds of stuff on my channel and on Joe's too. So make sure you always click that bell. And with that, I'll say good night. Mom and I will be on this Sunday. We just haven't figured out a subject or a time yet, but we will tomorrow. But she's busy rocking out to Kelly Clarkson right now. So I will talk with her tomorrow morning. Thank you, Joe, very much.
Bye, Joe.
Take it easy.
You
And
too.
thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. And thanks for coming to the office. Yay!
It's my pleasure.
Here, we'll end on a cheers. Where's your
Okay.
cocktail? Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Keep on selling, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.